Great squad. Bloody hell, we're live. Okay, so I'm really sort of in about 9 different places here because I've never used any of this software before, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Yeah, I can't see your comments, I don't think, but never mind. So yeah, it's the first stream, so forgive me on this. Like I said, like I said the other day, this first project isn't going to be one of the voted projects because obviously we've not put any projects to the vote yet. We're still collecting content from a lot of the people who've applied. So I'm just going to see if I can get on the old Facebook and see if anyone's said anything to me. It says in the stream that I'm playing Animal Crossing, but that's just because the software that I'm using doesn't allow me not to put a game in, even though we're not playing a game, but never mind. I'm going to be red because I'm embarrassed because it's new, but we'll get there. So yeah, the usual situation with this would be you'd have had a couple of businesses in the pot during the week to vote on that will be the business that's chosen for the live stream to have their website built. But on this first week, because we're still waiting on content from the first couple of people, we've got most of it for the first 2 businesses, but I want to try and get 3 in the polls. So hopefully we'll have that sorted by the end of the week. Anyway, hang on a minute, I'm streaming myself here. Anyway, oh god, it's hard work this. Right, so usual situation, there'll be 3 businesses put in the poll, maybe 2, and then we'll get that shared out on Facebook, and you guys can vote on which one gets put onto the live stream. But today, because we don't have the content from everybody, we're going to be starting with a business called Applecast Northwest. And they are actually the company that my fiance works for, which, you know, abusive relationship there, but I'm joking. So yeah, I've volunteered to do this for him today because we built them a little site the other weekend for the farm of their business. And basically, she's arrived yesterday with this book with updates for the site. And seeing as we don't have a proper project this week that's been voted for through the system, we'll jump into Applecast website. They are a charity. They support young adults and people in difficult situations through like vocational studies, helping them get back to work and things like that. They have a cafe there. They have a educational program. They have a fishery, and they also have the farm and a gift shop and a garden centre and loads of other cool stuff. So we are focusing specifically on the farm in today's stream. Not that I can see that anyone's commenting or anything like that. I've not worked that out yet, but never mind. So yeah, we're going to dive straight into the browser, and like any good project, we need to start with some prep work because this isn't a very useful. Well, it's great, it's useful information. However, we can't do anything with that digitally just yet. So let's see if the screen capture works, and we'll jump into the browser. Right, feels a little bit less pressured now that you're not staring at my red face. Right, okay, so the site that we built the other weekend, I'll drag this into the viewport so you can see it properly, it was this one. We knocked this up in about, I don't know, maybe 2 hours. There's not an awful lot of content on there. The farm isn't currently open to the public, so what's happening is, obviously with COVID, it's delayed everything that they had planned. So that'll be only launching sort of, well, we don't know, do we? We don't know when the thing's going to get lifted. So basically, they were going to open this visitor centre where people could go and, obviously, there's like a petting zoo, you could learn more about the animals. And then they had events in summer, like the Young Farmer Days, craft sessions, and then bug hunts and various other things for the kids, and also for the community. Like I say, they are a charity, so it's a great cause. We do sponsor them in other ways as well, and we help with their web and social. But this is a starting point for the website that we came up with the other weekend. So, as you can see, dead simple, usual website as you could expect it to be. You know, I'd expect it to look, usual grid system and so on. These are just some little activities that we made online for people to have a click on and like do some word searches while they're stuck at home for the kids and whatnot. So that's just a bit of fun. However, we want to get the actual pictures of the animals on the website. So to start that process off, we need to we've got a list of images that was sent over by the squad over at Applecast, and I'm just going to drag that to another window so you're not looking at my memo box. That's another thing I've got to watch on this streaming, like that I don't leak any information anywhere. which is a consideration that I never thought I'd be having. Anyway, so let's create a new project here in Photoshop. And what we're going to do, they've sent us some pictures of all the animals that are going to go on the site. So I'm just going to quickly download all of these off screen. Hopefully you can hear me over the music. I'm trying to give you some background so it's not just me grunting and breathing and, you know, various other things. So I'm just going to go through and download all of these little images that Emma sent over from Cast. I do not know the names of all of these animals, so you're going to have to bear with me on that one. A little disclaimer, some of this information may not be accurate that we're putting onto the site. It's got to go through like proofing by the client, i.e. my fiance, at the end of this, so that she can make sure that I've got the right image with the right animal. Obviously, another difference between an alpaca, a pig, and a horse. However, yeah, we need to get them to check everything. Okay, so I'm just going to start up a couple of images. I'm going to use artboards so that I can do them all at once. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a couple of different sizes of artboard because I want some of them square and some of them to be a nice landscape picture. So I think I've got all the pictures in my downloads folder that have been sent. So I'm just going to grab those and drop them onto my desktop so I've got somewhere to work with them. Okay, so let's get cracking on editing these pictures. So there's a pig on this one. I don't know what this pig is called. So let's just, I'm going to try and be as quick as possible with this stuff because it is relatively low level sort of graphics admin stuff that, mind you, these kind of projects are you know, limited on time anyway. So perhaps in future I'll do this kind of stuff before we go live, but it's the first one. For some reason my Mac doesn't like giving me the copy artboard tool until I do some mad stuff on screen. So I'm just going to duplicate those first two boards there. And oh, hang on a minute, that looks rubbish. This is just to resize the images so that we've got them for there we go, that's the button I was looking for before, but it didn't come up. My Photoshop is really buggy. I am on Creative Cloud, but for some reason. Oh, here we go now. Come on, Photoshop. You're not playing nice today. Try that again. Oh, I like the artboard. I assure you they'll be smoother than this in future. There we go. Let's move it down that way. Thanks for the help, Photoshop, on that one. We've got 2 viewers. I can see on my phone here. Yeah, so normally what would happen... Ah, there we go, see. Damn bugs. Okay. So let's just give us 4 or 5 of that size, and then... Not that I'll be able to select that. You can see how buggy that is. And then 4 or 5 of these, so that we can drop the other images in. So in this one we've got a sheep. Not sure which sheep that is, but Shannon will know when she gets home. So 1 sheep there. The reason I'm doing it like this is so that we can... I've got this idea in my head of we're going to have this like big page with all the animals on, and then you'll be able to click through and get a individual profile of the sort of groups of animals that they have. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through them all whilst you're on the stream because it will take forever. And as you can see, Photoshop is bugging out. Oh, come on, mate. Silly. You know what? Let's get rid of a couple of them. Let's just do a pig and a sheep, and then we'll get the rest of the content in afterwards. So hopefully that'll appear on there. There we go. I'm just going to clear these other artboards out because Photoshop isn't playing nice and I don't want the stream to be boring. Any more boring than it could possibly be. So let's get rid of that piggy. Okay, so we've got a pig and a sheep times 2. So let's give it these artboards some names. Pig, sheep, and then that's pig square, and then sheep square. Okay, so what you'd normally do, we'd go through and export all of these different animals, which is what I would have done if this if Photoshop wouldn't have been not playing nice with me. So just going to make a quick folder on my local computer for these files. And then export all those photos. So we should end up with a nice little folder on the desktop with a pig, a sheep, and another pig. Okay, so my idea is to have a nice big picture on the main profile and then a small one on the outside profile when we go into it. So to do that, I need to log into the site, which I will do on this other monitor so you don't see my username. We've not thought this through, have we, Dan? So I'll try and make sure that that's in the window. Okay, so here we are. We are in the back end of WordPress, which is not the platform that we'd always use to build sites, nor is the page building plugin that we use called Elementor. But for the speed that we need to be building these sites on, Elementor and WordPress are probably the fastest way we could think of doing it. So, without further ado, what we need to do, we don't want to just make a page with the animals on, where we'd have to manually update that page all the time. We want to create what's called a custom post type, or what you'd actually, in proper database terminology, call a model. So, we use a plugin for that. In this instance, we would normally do this in code, but due to time, let's use custom post types in WordPress, which is a little plugin that gives us a user interface to build those post types. Which will just, can you see how we've got sort of posts and pages here? It'll give us a new one called animals. So I'm just going to activate that. So as this site's already half built, we've already got the main sort of header and footer, and then the blog page, and then various other bits. So all we're going to do here is add a new sort of section to the site where animals can live. So I'm just going to set this up. We'd normally again do this in code, but you can do this with a plugin like this and it does pretty much the same thing. So as we can see here, we've got a little new thing after we've created the post type here. The slug is the bit of the address that it uses. The plural name is just for the menu and to help us with our user interface. So this is the post type we've just created, and it's got nothing in it and not very much capability just at the second. So what we're going to do now is add another plugin. Wonderful thing about WordPress is it's got a massive community of people developing plugins. Most of them are free, there are paid versions of stuff. But we need to add some functionality to that custom post type we've just built. So we're going to go ahead and drop in advanced custom fields. Helps if you go into the add new plugin box, Dan. You'll also see it in these text box, some random bits of stuff appearing every now and again, so I apologise. I should probably set up a blank browser thing, but we do a lot of testing for some of the bigger apps that we make, so naturally we end up with data left in the autofill. Okay, so we've got this thing now called Advanced Custom Fields, which basically gives us the ability to add new sort of little information boxes to each type of post. So what we want to do is, Shannon has given me, I'm going to nip over to the webcam and show you this. Here we go. See, he's got used to it now. He's giving me like bits of information for each animal. So its name, its breed, whether it's a rare breed or not, when it came to cast, which is obviously the place. And then she's told me that she wants to be able to add a little description paragraph for each one. So, basically we need to... oh, sorry, I just clicked on my phone there. We need to add these different content boxes so that later on some of the team over at Cast can manage these animal listings, and it makes it easier for us to do it as well. So we're going to add a new field group, and we're going to call it animals. So this is like a container for all the other little fields that we're going to do. Back over to the screen. Again, comment on the feed if you can't hear me over the music, or if you can't hear the music. I can't work in the quiet, it drives me mad. And also, talking to myself isn't very easy. Or talking to you guys. So, we are getting stream chat through on Facebook. I can see Mr. Davenport has given us a nice little yo bro. So hello Justin, thanks for watching, mate. So yeah. So this is the animals field group, sorry. We're going to set this to appear if the post type is equal to animal, which will make sure that when we go on the editor later on, that we get, you know, these fields showing up on the animals thing. And I'm just going to quickly publish that so that it auto saves our changes. So, the name will automatically come from WordPress, so that's the title, which we don't need to put the animal's name in there. We'll put in a box for breed, and we'll leave that as a text box, and then we'll make that required. And then we'll add some other stuff, and we've also got date arrived at cast. And then we'll use a date field for this. Again, I'm quite new to the old Elementor, so forgive any Elementor sort of legends out there that are looking at this thinking, what are you doing? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a custom date output in this so that when we spit the date out, it doesn't give us like the exact date, because we don't have the exact dates for every single animal. With some of them we just have like August 17, and then for like big ones we have sort of 8th of June, so we know like a specific day, but some of them we just know a rough thing. So to normalize that, we're just going to put the sort of full month and year when it gets spat out, and I don't know what the date format shortcode is on PHP, so I'm going to do what every good web developer would do in this situation and Google it. So we want the F, it's not M. M would have given me 3 letters, which is fine, but I want the full month. So a little bit of, it's not really code this, so I can't really say I'm coding for charity, but anyway. So yeah, that's going to give us the date that they arrived. We've got what have we put in now? We've put the breed, the date, and what else have we got? We want a little checkbox to say whether it is a rare breed or not, because most of the animals at Cast are rare breeds. And then we're going to take that into a checkbox. If this animal a rare breed, tick this box. So it's going to be rare. I think this is what it's asking me to do. Don't know allow custom values. Checkbox, I think. True or false, I think we'll go for. Not required. Okay, so what we'll do later on is work out how we're going to output that, because I'm not sure quite how it will store this in the database. It's going to be a true or false. In fact, I might leave it as an option. Sorry guys, this is... I'm new to this, alright. I'm not new to WordPress. I'm not new to... not new to this. I'm new to live streaming. Okay, so yeah, the breed's there. The date arrived at cast, we'll make that required as well. We've got whether it's a rare breed or not, and then we will... WordPress has already got an editor built in for each of these posts, so we'll be able to write a bit of a description. And I think we may even enable Elementor on those pages so that they can be completely custom built. And I think we might just drop in... What else have we got? So there's like the groups of names of things, so we'll just leave that. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now. Rare breed, the date they arrived, and the actual breed. So now, if we go to the My Animals thing, remember before it looked a bit weird, this should now have like a nice box on there that gives us, at the bottom, hold on, we're on the other editor, we need to switch this to the standard WordPress editor. So we go to custom post type UI, edit post types, animal, and then we want to go down to the one that switches the editor. Want the excerpt on there. Save that. Okay. Let's see if that forces it to show us the proper editor. Because this is now showing us what's the new editor of WordPress called Gutenberg, and we don't want that in this case. We want the classic editor. I want to get rid of the block editor, which I may need to also Google. Because again, I wouldn't normally... Code editor, that's going to give us too much. Okay. So we don't want the block editor, which is what it's showing us now. So, let's Google it. WordPress custom post type. How to disable Gutenberg. This is a hell of a lot of the work when when you're using oh, this is all going to be in code. Right, let's have a look in the settings again for custom post types. We basically want to force it to not show us that I can't explain it to you because you won't understand what it is anyway because you've never used WordPress. So, that's the permalink. Right, I'll tell you what, I'll disable the editor altogether and then we can worry about that later. So, just to show you what I was trying to get it to do, this is what we were after. Hold on, it's not showing the custom fields. Post type is equal to animal. Yep, that's my fault. Okay, wonderful. So those boxes that we made a minute ago, the breed of it, the data arrived at cast, and then whether it's a rare breed or not, and the excerpt is sort of like a little intro blurb to a particular thing on WordPress. So like on a post, it could be like a short version of the post. In our case, we're going to use it for a short description of each animal, which we haven't been given yet. So we're just going to go ahead and add one or two. I'm just going to try and estimate what these animals' names are. That is Pig, and that is I think that's either Sandra or Georgie, which is one of the rare breed sheep that they've got there, which I believe is a grey-faced Dartmoor. Shannon or some farm types out there will probably correct me on that later on. But we're going to use the square version of that for the featured image. So, go on set featured image. We've got Jess on board. Good old Jess from our old agency. How's it going, squad? Okay, so let's just drop all these pictures in because we're going to use them all at some point. And then we'll use this sheep, which I'm going to call Georgie because I don't know if it's Sandra or Georgie. So all this SEO stuff here that I'm doing automatically, I'm just going to leave it as a default-ish for now, just so that we can get this through. So we're going to call this sheep Georgie. Breed is a grey. EY or AY on this? Grey face. Dartmoor. Georgie arrived at cast is 2018. Okay. That's not as specific as we were hoping. Let's just go summer 2018. She is a rare breed. And then what I'm going to do for this is put in some lorem, because we don't know, we don't have any content for this page yet. So lorem ipsum is just like this dummy Latin text that you'll see a lot of things use. It's a favourite of web developers to make it look like you've actually got content when you don't. So we're just going to go ahead and drop that in. Right, that's that. We've got an animal in. We're making progress. Apologies for the hiccups. Again, I'm spanking new to this. Gaz, I'm not playing Animal Crossing. You can't turn the game off because I'm using Streamlabs. I've just had a comment, by the way, on Facebook if you're wondering why I'm talking about something totally mad. So basically, guys, because I'm using Streamlabs OBS because I like the interface of it to stream this build, you've got to choose a game because it's built for gamers, and there's no way of turning it off. So I've chosen Animal Crossing for obvious reasons, based on the project, but we're not playing Animal Crossing, so sorry to disappoint you, mate. But yeah, nice one. So just a little update for those of you who just joined us. So basically this week we are just we're whacking up a build of adding an animals page to the Applecast charity website, because we're still waiting for content on a couple of the live projects that we're going to be building from scratch as of next week. So this is a small project for a charity that we started last weekend, or the weekend before, or something like that, and then we're going to jump ahead and add some new features to this project. So yeah, back to the screen capture. So, excuse me. We've just added the animal. We've got Georgie in the database. I think it's Georgie. It could be Sandra. I don't know. Shannon's going to go mad at me when she gets home because she will. So now what we need to do is get this new animal situation to show up on the front end of the website. Again, little disclaimer. This may not be correct information. So we will get the client to check this over before we go live. Although this is live anyway, but usually we would have a full check over the site before we went live. Okay, so we need to create a new menu item for animals, which we are going to go over to animals, and it's going to make us want to select a specific one by doing that. But because we created the slug of animals before, we should be able to just type animals or animal, unless we didn't enable the... I know what it is. So in custom post types, we need to tell it that the post type has an archive so that we can see a big list of all the animals. Again, I am quite new to working with all these little tools. So that should, by editing that, give us the animals thing that we're looking for. Animal. There we go. So there we can see we've got George on the site on the front end. Now, it doesn't look very good, and it's not how we want to display it. However, it's not too bad, because we know that they're animals, and we know that, that's Georgie, but we want to do something a bit more custom than that. We may even split this down in future to say, like, sheep and then have animals, and it's sheep and then have, like, Georgie and Sandra inside that. So, yeah, we can play around with that later on. So, this is part of Elementor, which is a page builder that we're using. We can see that it's using the default blog archive page for animals. So what we need to do is to put that in the menu for one. So we're going to put a custom link in. We're just going to grab the full URL. There's probably a better way of doing this, but I don't know it. Drop that in the menu, press save, and then when we go back to the main site, we will have animals in the menu. He says, click that, and then we can see the animals. Wonderful. So, we want to make this a little bit more custom now. I want to show like the picture on the left hand side and have all the information we just input on the right hand side, which is currently not happening, which we don't want. So, we're going to make what's called a loop template in Elementor. Whoops, wrong button. So if we go to my templates, we can see that I've already got one if we go to all for the main blog, which the blog archive, sorry, and we want to make a new one of those. So add new, and we're going to go with, I believe it's archive, and then we're going to go with animals archive. like I say, we wouldn't normally build sites like this, but because Elementor is free, it's brilliant, and it's also saving us doing a lot of code. Because we've got a lot of time constraints on this, we can use a lot of the built-in functionality. So okay, we can see we've got a blank template here, which we can now use to build the archive page for animals, which is what we've just been trying to do. We're also going to want to put a little bit of extra heading up at the top to make it, to give it a bit more of a welcome to the page. So we can do that from here too, so that on every animals page we'll get like a nice little blurb welcoming people into the animals. So we're going to go and select structure. We're going to create a single width column here. We're going to add something called padding to this so that it's not smushed up against the browser header and gives us a bit of clearance against this. So I think the global that I've been using on this is 40 pixels. The style, we're going to give it the tasty gradient that we've been using everywhere else, which is a light blue top with a pale bottom. And then we're going to use a shape divider to keep in line with all this other stuff we've been doing. And I think that one is known as waves. It is. And we're going to give it a height of around about 20 pixels and say that looks, which it looks rubbish, so we'll give it 40. Maybe too much. Oh, 430, too much. Right, so we want to give an extra bit of padding on the bottom to account for that extra divider. God knows what this song is. We'll skip that one. Okay, that's looking good. And now we want to put in the heading. We're not going to use the archive title. We want to give it something a bit more custom to make it a bit tastier. So we're going to put Applecast, and then we're going to put animals for a nice bit of SEO. The first level heading on the website, on the web page, sorry, should be a H1, as we are hiding the one that's automatically generated, so that now that if anything such as a Google bot or whatever looks at this page, it knows that this is the first level heading of the page, and that this page is about Applecast animals. I'm just going to go and put in a little bit of, I'll say code. It is code, and this is probably as much coding as you're going to see in this project because we're using a page builder. But it just adds a bit of interest to the header if we, create a bit of a difference, a contrast between the text there. We can make that look smaller again in the actual CSS code later on. So I'm going to choose the nice red colour for the title, and then I'm just going to go and save this and publish it just for the time being. So we want this to display on archives, animals archive. So that will now display on, hopefully, the animals archive page. Lovely. And you can see our animal is gone because we've not put that actually in the page. So before we do that, I don't want to use the standard post archive thing that Elementor comes with, because we've got loads of custom fields that we're using that we just added a minute ago. So like the breed, when the animal arrived, and so on. Excuse me. So what we need to do is add another plugin, Wonderful World of WordPress. Somebody has already built the code that allows us to change that, the way that displays. So if we go to the dashboard of WordPress again, and I can't remember what the plugin is. Let's see if I can remember it. I think it's called Customize Elementor. I'll know it when I see it. Elementor Custom Skin, I'm sure that's the one. So we'll just drop that in. Modern WordPress is very simple to use and add plugins if you're well versed in the platform. It's nothing really there's not an awful lot to learn, but I've been using it for about sort of 8 years or so I know it quite well. Anyway, Elementor Custom Skin. So we've activated that. We want to create a new loop template. So I'm going to create a new template called Animal Index, and now this is the thing that's going to repeat every time we show an animal. So I'm going to keep it blank, and it looks like it's going to show up with all the surrounding things, but it won't. You're just going to have to trust me on that one. So what I want to do is create a structure, which I think we may go with the we'll go with a nice 2-column to start with, and we'll see how that looks. So we want to pad each one. so that they're not mushed up against each other again. So top and bottom, we'll give it 20. We can come back and amend this later. We want to stick the featured image here, which is the nice square thing that we've been using. I think there is a way we can preview with an animal. We can actually see what Georgie looks like in this lovely template we're building. Oh, wonderful. So I'll just set the featured image to come through as a full size. And the wonderful thing about Elementor is it gives us this drag and drop page builder basically, which is a bit like Squarespace and Wix, but the code's a bit tastier, i.e. it makes sense. So what we're going to do, drop in the post title, which is going to get... Oh, we don't want to preview the animal index, we want to preview Georgie. That's what's done wrong. There she is. So let's just try that preview again. We should get a picture of Georgie and her name at the top. Aha! There she is! Okay, so this is what we're going to build, which will now loop through every animal that we add to the system on the index. So let's just go ahead and flesh this out. Have a little sip of my drink while we're waiting. Mr. Burgess is with us on the stream. Little shout out to David Burgess there. He's, with all this COVID stuff, he's truly evolved his business. He's a magician, a very good magician at that. And obviously, with no events happening, he's had to completely change his situation. And he's actually gone ahead and filmed a full magic course online, which I don't have a link to hand currently. However, I will get one and I'll drop it in the comments so that you can all check it out and support David, because we're all struggling through this COVID thing and we can all do with everyone helping each other. So anyway, that's David. Welcome. Thank you for watching. And again, to the rest of you that are watching, nice one. We're 40 minutes in already. Wow. Okay. And we've made good progress, I'd say. Okay, so Georgie, we can see there we've got a title. We're going to want that to be a H2 heading because on the main animal page, we've already got a H1 saying this page is about the animals. I'm gonna round this picture, you see, by using 50% border radius on everything. The border radius is basically the corner, so you can see that's like a little rounded square. If we go 50%, it's going to go 50% of the width, which will give us a round image. So that's quite cool. On hover, what do we want to do? Is there a hover animation? Yes, let's have one. Let's make it grow slightly. Whoa! Bit too much. Perhaps we can have a... Oh, no, I don't like that. Float. Ah, that's cute. Okay. Nice little animation there on Georgie. I'm going to make the column a bit smaller on desktop. I'll show you what happens when we look at mobile views in a second. So we've got the name there of Georgie. We want to get the other fields in. So the excerpt is what we said we were going to use to put in a bit of extra information about her, like welcoming us to the animal, and so on. Currently, we're just going to have to leave it as this Latin text, sorry, because we don't have much content currently. So we've got Georgie, we've got the text that we said. Now we want a little bit of extra info that we added to the system earlier on. So we don't want to put all of this sort of comments and name and title and whatever. We're not interested in that in this particular post. What we want to use is our custom post type. So I'm just gone through there and removed all that extra stuff. I'm just going to drop down and choose custom. And I'm going to go on dynamic tags. And I'm going to go on ACF field. Now it's a bit buggy. We have to click on it again, and then we're going to have to. Then we can choose which thing we are going to be displaying. So we're going to go with date arrived at cast, which I'm hoping it gives me a preview, which it does. Lovely. And before it, we're going to say arrived at cast. Wonderful. Look at that. Done this before. We don't want to make it a link. We want to choose a nice icon somewhere. Custom. And then choose icon. And I think we'll get a nice calendar. So, you know, Elementor makes all this very easy. You can do all of this in code, but it's already been built for us here, so we might as well use it, especially when we're stuck for time on these kind of projects. Okay, so that's cool. I'm going to change the colour of it, if I can work it out, because yeah, we want it to look a little bit flash. So let's go with dark blue. So I added these colours before as the brand colours that that we've developed over time. So basically we made this, I'll try and find it and show you actually. We made this poster for Cast last year. I need to open up my client file, so I'll do this on another window so you don't get to see all my clients. Applecast, Eco Centre, and then it was summer events last year. So we made basically a series of flyers for Cast, which basically were these things, which we had the Birds of Prey Day, we had the Bug Hunt, and we had the Arts and Crafts Community event, the Fishing Taster Day, Story Time at the Farm, which you'll see this little motif that we started to use around the farm thing, and then La Pièce de Résistance, the Young Farmer Day, that I quite like that brand when I came up with it, so I've used that again for the main branding for the site. I have to excuse the coughing. I don't have COVID, but I'm not used to talking this much, surprisingly. Okay, so this is the branding that we started to use for the farm last summer, and I quite liked it, so I've brought it across to the site, and I think it looks quite well. Works quite well, sorry. So yeah, the colours have come from that, and we added those to the back end of the site earlier on, so that we had them available to use. So I'm just gonna use that text. We want to just change the previous thing I've felt arrived wrong, because I am potato. Let's go in advance. Not arrived at Cast. Yeah, so I've only been using Elementor for a couple of weeks, if that. Yeah, if I feel like I'm picking my way around, I am. So apologies, we will get better. Okay, so now we've got that in. We could do with adding the breed that we added to. I don't want to add it as part of the same list. I want to create another little section here for that. We're going to go through and do the same situation again. Choosing the custom, and we're going to choose dynamic tag ACF field from advanced custom post types field. I'm going to grab the breed, and now we can see grey faced Dartmoor has popped in. I'll not put the breed thing there. I'll not write breed before it, I mean. What I will do, however, is choose a custom icon if there's an animal one. Nope. That's not very animal-y. We may not use one on this then. Something that might work. I don't think there's going to be much that signifies breed in these icon sets. We could use a different icon set. In fact, I'm going to use a ward for now. Perhaps good old Shannon can help me choose a better one later. Bacon is probably inappropriate. Yeah, I think we're just going to go with that award one that we've got there. That looks nice. And then we're going to remove that comments one. Style, we're going to make it going to make the text a little bit bigger. And then we're also going to make the icon bigger to match the text. And then I think we shall make the text our lovely blue. And ideally I could do with getting rid of some of the space in between these things, which I'm going to attempt to do with the built-in margins and padding, which don't seem to be working or doing anything. The margins and padding are two little things that anybody who is a web developer will know. Not sure who's watching, but I'm sure there are some web developers watching that will think, yeah, you don't need to explain padding and whatnot. But for people who are not web developers, margins are basically everything that's outside of this box is the amount of space that they're adding to it, and then padding is everything inside the container. That's the long and short of it. I'm going to unlink these and see if I can add a minus. I see minus 20s. Oh, maybe minus 30. So what I'm doing here is pulling the bottom margin up a little bit to give us less space in between the elements. I'm going to go ahead and do that on the the title, the header, the name, whatever we're calling that. Okay, wonderful. I think I might just give us a bit of extra size as well on the old name of the animal, seeing it's very important. And then on the column, I want to vertical align this into the center so that it, you know, it looks nice and tasty. And that's that. So where do we want to display it? On the archives, and we just want to do it on the animals archive. Now this may not work. I don't know if I've done that right. So let's just see if this works. So if we go to the animals archive, we won't get it showing up because we didn't add the archive to the main loop before, which I'll get to in a second. So I'll just leave it like that for now, which will give us a bit of a sort of view as to what it might look like. If I go back to the page then, and I want to go back onto the... Again, we're listening to some crazy dubstep things here. See, I'm stuck to music that I can listen to. I found this, which is a royalty-free music stream for YouTube and Twitch. So if anybody is in a band and wants me to use their music as my background instead of this mad dubstep stuff, which I'm largely using so that I don't breathe everywhere. Yeah, so yeah, apologies if you don't like dubstep, but that's what we're having. So yeah, page templates, where were we? We were trying to make a loop for the animals page. So, the animal in... Uh-oh. And he's named them very similar things. I'm going to just rename that dead quick because that's going to confuse me later on. Animal index. Single archive thing. That's what we're having. We're doing that. It's happening. Right. So let's get back onto that loop. Animals archive is the main archive that we were editing before. I can tell because it's this. So if I go edit with Elementor, and now I want to put archive post in here, drag and drop that in, and it's still using the default template. So I believe we need to go to, and I don't know what I'm doing now. I'm guessing it could be that. Oh, there he is. Don't you just love it? Right, okay. So I know it looks a bit weird. We're going to hide those. I don't have the pro version of that plugin. One column. Update. Okay, wonderful. It looks like it's struggling to find out what we're previewing. So I'm just going to go and tell it that it's the animals archive that we're previewing. And now you can see that that little thing that we just built has been pulled through to the main part of the page. The only problem is none of these are links, so we can't actually get onto the individual... the icon seems to be broken there, which I know how to fix. None of these are links, so we can't get through to the individual pages just yet, and we haven't built the individual page, so that's not a massive issue. I think we will add some more animals before we build the single view, whether it's part of today's stream or not. We are an hour in. I'm going to try and keep these down to 2 hours. I know it's a long time, but there's not an awful lot I can get done in much shorter of a period. So, just to bring it back to me, give us a bit of a break. So yeah, basically, so far we have decided this week, instead of doing the usual, excuse me, I have a story about this class. I'll probably save that for a more boring section of the video when we're adding content. So yeah, today we've decided to build the Applecast website because we are still waiting on content for the voted candidates for the Inbox Dan program, which is usually going to be donating money to a charity called AMMF, which meant a lot to a good friend of mine who sadly passed away last year due to cancer, and that's what AMMF are campaigning for, this particularly rare and horrible type of cancer called cholangiocarcinoma. Anyway, all the bad stuff apart, usually what we're asking for is people to donate to that charity, and in exchange I would build them a free website using this page builder called Elementor. The reason I'm using this is so that you can then edit all of your own content at a later date once we've, very simply built the website, and hopefully by watching the stream and whatever, you'll be able to pick up what's changed and so on and so forth. So, okay, all that aside, today we've chosen Applecast website. We are building the we're adding the animals section to the Applecast website, which we have added as a custom post type in WordPress. We've currently only got Georgian, which we've already discovered on the stream that may not be Georgie. But it'll be alright, we'll get there. The content has come to me in the form of a handed notebook from my lovely fiancée. Yes, she works for that charity, and yes, I'm helping them out today. So let's dive back in for any of you that's not with me and don't know what's going on. So, I do actually get a little feed of comments. So if you want to say hello if you're watching, there are viewers. I can see it. There are people watching. If you want to comment, I can interact with you because I can see it on the stream here. It's the first time I've done this, alright? We're all getting used to it. Alright, let's dive back into the web project. So, okay, so we've added Georgie. Here she is in all the glory. It could be Sandra. I don't know how to recognise sheep. Shannon does. She's the farmer. And, yeah. So we've just discovered that these buttons don't go anywhere. They don't link to the actual individual post, which isn't good. There is a way of linking this title and then this image, which we'll go and do in a minute. But before we do that, we're just going to add some more animals because it's a very boring looking page and we want to see how it looks with more than one animal on there. So we have a picture of a sheep, not a sheep, it's a pig, that we edited at the beginning of the video in a broken installation of Photoshop, as we discovered. Not very, well, I don't know, perhaps you think it looks cute. Not a massive fan myself. However, we shall continue. So these pigs, apparently, if I can find them, they're a breed of pigs called Coonicoons, which I've never heard of before. They're called Joe and Joey, I think, if this is one of them. I might be wrong. This could be Lucky and Pepper. However, if it's Joey and Joey, they actually came from, I believe, a league rugby star called Sam Tompkins. I'm not a rugby fan. But he was moving away to go and play for Catalans or something like that, or someone in France. This is all, I'm trying to remember this, and I don't watch rugby. So yeah, I've got written down in the notes, Sam Tompkins, and I do remember that he did donate some some pigs to him. But this may not be them. But Shannon's not here to tell me what they are. So this is the pig. Okay, we're going to add the pig, and I'm going to call this pig Joe, because I don't know its name, and it's either Joe or Joey. I will also note for any web developers watching this thinking, what does it look like on mobile? You're doing it wrong. I don't know yet. We'll get to mobile in a bit when we've added some more content. So, animals. Let's add a new animal. We're going to call it Joey. Did I say Joe or Joey? Whatever. And it is a pig of the breed Coonicoon. I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how Shannon says it. I'm going to Google that. Oh, it's one word. Okay. Does that look like one of those? In the comments? Gaz, what are you having for dinner? I'm not redoing the last 10 minutes. I'm glad you're watching though, thank you very much. You've been with us for this long. It's at least 15 minutes, and I'm sorry we're not playing Animal Crossing, despite what the Facebook feed says. We've already established that. Anyway, when did they arrive at cast? We've got in the notes here, all of them in 2018. Oh, Shannon. You've not given me a very good cut. I'm joking, that'll do me. So let's go with, again, we'll say April 18, just to add a bit of variety. And we'll display, yeah, we'll just go with April 2018. Excerpt, again, we don't know anything. So let's grab some Lipsum. So let's try and grab Animal Lipsum. I wonder if there's an Animal Lipsum generator. There's loads of... See, now this is great. So dummy text is one of those things that we use quite a lot. I'm going to use this one. So drop in that and the excerpt, posted that. We need to grab the image of our cute little piggy wig, and it's that one. I'm just looking at the right hand side here to find the square. Because I've got control over the image sizes on this as well, we've gone for an 800 by 800 pixel square, which will mean that our 50% thing generates, our 50% border radius that we added before will generate a circle, and not just some mad skewed sort of thing. So I've just clicked on View Animal, and we can see this page hasn't been built yet. But if we go back to the Animals archive, we are only getting Joey. Oh, Brill. Well, we need to work out why that is. It's all fun and games, this stuff. Okay. So I suspect this is down to how I built the loop that may not have been a loop. Who knows? We shall work that out. And it's also not displaying the... Oh. Let's refresh it. Super refresh. Maybe not. Okay. Something is not working correctly. So let's go in editor. Oh. I think I know what I've done. I noticed then in the... when I go to edit, the loop is the mad thing that we added. So don't tell me I've built that entire section wrong, which would be... See, this is what happens when you don't use software very often. Okay, so let's have a look at this. How did we build this? We need to go back to the animals page. So, all these Elementor pros now are going to be looking at this and thinking, what is this guy doing? And the truth is, I don't know. Okay. We want to go into Elementor, and we go into templates. And then we want to go into the all section. And that's the one that we want to display, not this one. Perhaps if I... Let's edit this and again and have a look in the... There is a setting somewhere which tells us when this displays. Display conditions. Right. Bin that off, Danny. We don't need anything in there. Now, hopefully... Oh, there we go. See, I do know what I'm doing. Somewhere. Anyway. What's this here? Curry noodles for Gareth, Mr. Gareth Johnstone. Curry noodles sound great, mate. And we've got a... There is some decent WordPress generators. Just put a shortcode down. State them in a paragraph and job done. Saves a lot of hassle. Also, I thought that kind of stuff only happens to me. No, a lot of it... We never live build because bugs happen and things break and you look like you don't know what you're doing. But we've got there. You know, it's working. I don't know how to use Elementor. It's new to me. Anyway, back to the screen cap. So, I'm going to shut the window because next door probably think I'm crazy. They'd be right. Oh, right, we're an hour in. Welcome, anybody that's just joined us. Dom Joyce, big shout. My brother in arms. He's not actually my brother, but he might as well be. And his brother Ty, Ace. Thanks for watching. Yeah, share this feed. Share the feed if you're new. It's good to have you here. Okay, so we're on Applecast Farm. We have added the animals page. We have a list of a few animals that are looking quite tasty. However, I'm not happy because I'm very picky. There's not enough padding between the top and bottom for me. So what I'm gonna do, go into the animals archive, and I'm gonna choose our repeater field. This paragraph section, whatever you're calling it, and I'm gonna just whack on 20 pixels of padding all the way around. You will notice I'm building for desktop first, and that is because it is how I prefer to work. However, if we look at this on mobile and tablet, we realise things are starting to change a little bit. So what I'm going to just do is quickly show you how we work with different viewports, and we will actually go through all this properly later on. This repeater field seems to be changing to 2 columns on mobile, so I'm just going to drop it to 1 again. It's that simple with Elementor. I think we can give the piggies picky more real estate, but we'll have to do that in the other little thing that we made. And then let's go and have a look on full mobile. This works. Does it work? Should we have it left and right? Should we break it up a little bit? Who knows? We shall work that out later on. Okay, let's plan this. So we're an hour in. We need to build the Justin! Don't you dare mention stored procs. We'll not get into that. I used to work with Justin at William Hare, which are a large structural steel global company. A very great company to work for, actually. And Justin and Matt, my brothers in arms from the development squad, before they're Microsoft guys who do a lot of .NET, and they're absolutely brilliant at it. And I'm from web, and I hate stored procedures. And we have this kind of running joke where, yeah, stored procs, whatever. Jess there, bit of padding on the bottom. Yeah, good point. Nice one. Jess is a great designer, by the way. She used to work for my old agency, which, yeah, good to see you on the stream. Still, you're all still here. This is crazy. I'm looking over there because that's where my chat is. And yeah, I'm just going to have a little swig. Ah, wonderful. Okay, right. Back to the stream. Screen cap. Okay, so we've got our animals in. They're looking a bit spacey. They're looking all right. We have no links to view the full page yet, but, you know. Gaz, yes, I'll do your website. Apply online, inboxdan.com. Have you seen the lower third, brother? Have you seen the lower third? It'll appear in a minute. There. It'll come. Yeah, I've just tried rendering out some new lower thirds as well because these are a bit rubbish. So, yeah, anyway. Stay on task, Daniel. Okay. Right. Armness. What are we doing? Okay, we've got 2 animals in. They look alright. What did we say we were doing? The mobile view? No? Anybody? Jesse's coding too. Wonderful. Okay. I think we need to build the single view. Okay? Oh, what? Hang on a minute. There was something else we needed to before that. Okay, no, we'll leave it at that. The single view, okay, is going to confuse me because I don't know what I've done with that post type. So if we go to... Remember before when I was talking about the editor? If I go to CPT UI, which is custom post type user interface, edit post types, we can see we've got the animal, okay? We're going to need to Google the hell out of this later on to try and get this working. But we want to... Oh, God. There's lots of settings that I don't understand. We want the editor, okay? Simple. We need the editor. We're going to save that. But now, if I go back to my animals in a new tab, because we have loads of tabs in our business, and we edit one of the previous ones, it's going to show us the mad editor that we don't want. We don't want to use Gutenberg anywhere. I wonder if there's a simple plugin that will remove Gutenberg. What is this song? Can you hear the music? Anybody who's watching, can you hear the tunes that we're vibing against here? Don't know what they are. But I found them on this Twitch thing. Anyway, right, okay, let's go on plugins. We need to remove Gutenberg. This is doing my head in. Gutenberg's that mad editor that I just showed you. So, let me just see if I can. Oh, you just want to remove it. I wonder if there's a WordPress setting. Anybody who's used Gutenberg a lot is going to be screaming at the screen right now. Disable Guten. I love how there's this'll do me. Settings, writing, uncheck the thing. Okay. We all need to Google something. There is no way any human being can remember this many settings. There isn't a setting for it. God damn it. Ah, how to disable it? We don't like it. The classic editor plugin. Okay. Do that. Seems kind of counterintuitive to add a plugin that adds core functionality, but okay. Oh, we need to add the plugin. Okay, so classic editor. Oh, it's there. There's no wonder why that's. It seems that not many people like Gutenberg. It's been a controversial topic, all right. It's been a very controversial topic. Yeah, there we go. Cheers, Gaz. Nice one. Nice one, mate. Nice one. That's what I'm doing. He's Gaz has just come in the chat and said switch to classic, which is what we're going to do. Oh, look at that. That's the same we needed. Switch editor for all users. Yes. Oh, no, we don't want it. That'll just confuse people later on. Currently, I'm the only person who edits this site. When we give the keys to the client, we want them to be able to use this the same way we do. So any user guides and stuff that we record, or if they watch this, they know what they're expecting. Okay, so if we go to editor now on one of these things, it should look like we want it to look. Oh, glorious. I wonder if Elementor's going to jump in and say, hello, I'm the editor for this post. It's not. Okay. Okay. Now, I don't have this body of text, so I'm going to use this because that's what all the cool kids do. So this is where the cast can just do whatever they want. They can drop in loads of content about the animal if they should so desire. It also gives us a nice page to have on your website for SEO purposes. Google needs things to crawl. If it doesn't exist, it can't crawl it. So at the minute, this is all nonsense, but in the future, this will be useful bits of information about animals. Okay, right. I don't know how many people are watching. I doubt we've got any viewers on YouTube. Also, I'm multi-streaming. Hopefully it's working on every network, but I can't find out until later. Okay. Right, we need to build the individual posts. So, what have we done so far to those just joining? If there's anyone just joining, hello, it's me again. You'll notice the Inbox Dan t-shirt. It's not official merch. It's nonsense. Going crazy. Right, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. So far, we have added the animals section. We've added it to the menu. We've created a loop. We've added some custom post types and some fancy things that tell us what breed it is and when it arrived at cast and its name. We've added a picture. We've put some nonsense in that's going to serve as a little welcome text. We can't currently click on these, so we need to fix that. So, we're going to go to Animals Archive. Yes. Wonderful. And we're going to go back to screen capture so you can see what I'm doing. And then what we're going to do, we're going to add a button. And then in that button, no, Danny boy, you need to edit the actual... So I was just going to edit the entire page like a numpty. So if I go to dashboard, and then we go to templates, I'm jumping about a lot. There's not much cohesion on this stream. But never mind. And we're going to go on the Animal Index single archive thing that we named so we could discover it later on because I don't know what I'm doing on Elementor. And then we're going to go to button, and we're going to put a button in. Click here. And we're going to put the link as a dynamic tag, and it's going to be the post URL. Wonderful. And we're going to go more about, and then can we click on dynamic tag? And then can we click on post title? Oh, yes, we can, but we need to put before about. Wonderful. Look at that button. So now we can click this, and it'll take us to the thing. We also want to be able to click this thing. So what we're going to do, we're going to click that, and we're going to go on post URL. Wonderful, that'll take us there too. And we want to do it on the image. Why not? Link. Custom URL. Which tag? Oh, we're going to go to the post URL. Wondrous. We don't want to display that anywhere, because we're going to pull it through manually on that template that we had. Let's close some windows, because even Danny Boy's getting lost now. Oh, I'm going to leave open the old farm lorem, because that's been useful so far. My voice is going. Hopefully this won't happen every stream. Okay. So, let's view the post again on the actual site. Animals index. Wow, we've got a lovely button there now we can click on. We've got this, but it doesn't float or anything. That we can click on. This we can click on. I'm watching the bottom left here. And if you're looking very closely on the stream, you'll be able to see that we've got the link to the animal there, and there, and there. Lovely jubbly. Right. So what now? Well, I don't like how that doesn't animate when you hover over it because it's not clear that it's a link like these two things are. So let's change that. Edit with Elementor. No, want to go back. Templates. Save templates. All. And then we're going to go on to our Animal Index single archive thing. Love the help I'm getting here from Gaz. Nice one, brother. I'm not used to Elementor, as I keep saying, but we're learning. We're all learning this together. So, Georgie, when we hover over that, we want to go on style. And is there going to be something we can do? Mouse effects. Oh, what are these? I've never used this. No, I don't want mouse effects. What? That's too much. Omit, induce. Entrance animation. We could work on that later. Normally, if this was a link, I would just... See, this is an Elementor thing. It's not that I don't know what I'm doing, I assure you. It's that I don't know how to do it in Elementor. So, I'm not going to do it in Elementor. I'm going to do it in code. The way we all know how to do it. So, selector. And I'm going to go H2. And I'm going to go... Oh, you idiot. H2. And then I'm going to go hover. This is code. Yeah, I'm actually writing code on a stream. Yeah, man. Anyway, this is how we'd normally work, but in an editor, not in this thing. So when we hover this, we want to go on transform. And we want to go translate XY, because I have to shake my head when I do that. Every time I write a translate thing, I go, hang on, I go like this, X, Y, so that I know which is the X and Y thing, thinking back to maths in school. Translate Y, minus 5px up. Let's see what that does. Oh, lovely. Right, might go 8. Tasty. Right, we don't want it to be so jittery. So we're going to go and put an animation on there. And we'll just animate all because we're lazy. Ease, in, out. And then we're going to put a 0.4 second transition on that because that's what Danny likes. Animate. Have I got the thing name wrong? No, it's not that. It's transition, isn't it, you idiot? It's Monday. We're all a bit rusty. Oh, look at that. Not fast enough though. That's better. Looks like a link now. Doesn't particularly move too far, so we're not going to lose it. It's too much. 5 pixels. Yeah, that'll do us. That's nice enough. I might even add a little text shadow to it so that it looks like it's doing something. We don't want it to be any pixels wide. So we don't want to move it left or right. We just want to make it, I think, probably 10 pixels distant. And then we'll use RGBA. Make a black, very subtle shadow. Oh, it looks horrible. I don't like that. In fact, if we do move it by the amount that moves. No, I don't like it. Undo. Wonderful. Right, that'll do us. Looks alright, that. Looks alright. How am I not swearing? I don't know, Just. Now you've said it, possibly going to start. Hey, it's half 2. Perhaps we should crack a beer. It's it's bank holiday after all. We were leaving it open for a reason. Anyway, right. So here we go. Animals. You've got a nice link. It floats. So does she. He. What is it? How do you tell? Not from the face, obviously. That hovers. Yeah, nice one. So when we click on the picture now, we realise this is rubbish. This doesn't look anything like we want it to. So what do? You ask. We go on to Elementor. And we create a new template. Add new. And we're going to go page. No, we're going to go single. And we're going to select animal. And it's going to be animal single. We don't need to call it ting because we don't need to remember it. The stream will finish. And it'll all just come out. It'll just all come out for us. Whatever. I can't understand that, guys. Sorry, mate. Right, hour and 20 minutes in. We've done some work. We've got there. Okay, now we need to build this single page. If you've been watching for this long, thank you. Right, so to retain the look of the rest of the website, I'm gonna... firstly, I'm gonna do it as 2 columns, like this. And I may make the left column smaller. We'll worry about how big it is in a bit. And then we'll select this thing so that we're selecting outside of the column system we've just made. And we're going to give this, again, our tasty 4080 padding. And then we're going to go on style of the containing element. And we're going to go and select background type. And we're going to choose our tasty blue. And we're going to choose our tasty yellow. And it is yellow. And then we're going to go to shape divider. Bottom. Which one? We're going to go curve. Whoop! That's not the right one. Waves. We're going to make him, I think it was 20 pixels high. I may have been wrong. I was wrong. 30 pixels. 40 pixels. I did that. Did the exact same thing. I'm going to invert it so it looks a bit different. For a bit of intrigue. That looks good. I'm going to publish that. I want to display it on the animals pages. Save that. Bosh. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to bring in the featured image of the animal. Oh, hey! Look at that! Piggy Wiggy. Large will do us. We don't want to link it to anywhere because it's already linked. Border radius. I want to have the circle again because I'm liking that vibe. Chilling. Right. Now we're going to get the title. Bosh. And this time it's a H1. Joey. And then we're going to go like this. Then we're going to edit this column. And we're going to vertically align it center. Oh! Suits you, Joey. And then, what are we going to do? Don't know. Yes, we do. Hang on. Think, Daniel. Post excerpt. A bit more of a welcome about Joey. Excellent. Right. Is that enough? No. What we're going to do is we're going to bring in all the other stuff that we did. We should have made that. Right. So, what I did before when I made this section, I should have made it as a global thing that I can drop into every post. So I might even go back into that. I could have made this whole thing as a template, you see. Which saves us work. So we shall go and do this now. And then come back, reload that page. And then all will make sense. Dave Lewis. How do I know the animal is single? I don't know. Would pigs... Do they have relationship statuses? I mean, it lives with another pig, but I think they're both blokes. It lives with 3 other pigs, I think. We'll have to ask Shannon when she gets home. The stream of... Oh, the swearing. Sorry, Gaz. Yeah. Well, Jim will be on then. My son, who is 2. So we don't want to be swearing when he gets home. So I should probably get it out of the system now. But then we won't be able to monetize on YouTube and then, you know, all hell break loose. So we'll not do that. Right, back to screen cap. Okay, right. I've just flipped the mic. What we're doing? Distractions. Yes, we're going to go and turn that thing into a global element so we can use it everywhere else. So, templates. We need to find our ting. Find that ting. Wrong ting. Go back. We would have vibed that ting. Right, we've got that ting. I've got to stop this. I've cascaded into madness. Okay, right. Arrived at cast at this date. We want to turn that, and that, and that. All of that, really. But that. Right, so let's go on. Can we change the whole section? No. Okay. But what we can do is... This one. Save as global. And we're going to go animal. Breed. And then this one. Save as global. Animal. Date. That'll do us. Right, the reason for that is so that whenever we change the style on one of these, it changes site-wide. Like it... You know, whatever. So what we're going to do... What are we going to do? We're just going to nip in here. And we're going to get rid of that. Because it's rubbish. And then we're going to go into our global widgets. And we're going to grab animal breed. Oof! Oh, it looks poo. Well, that didn't work, did it? Edit global widget. Well, I'm afraid, Elementor, that doesn't work. Probably not. What? Whoa! 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 Undo. Undo. Do we leave it like that? Because we don't want it to be blue anyway, do we? Okay. Whatever. We're not going to make it so they all look the same because Elementor's just broken that. Okay, right, let's just do this one. Right, I've got a funny feeling that if I actually view this on the front end, that it would have displayed nicely. Animals. More about Joey. See? God damn it. Anyway, we've unlinked it now, so we've done the damage. Let's delete that. So despite what it's showing us on the editor, it does actually look right. Okay? So if we update that, it's not going to display all this mad stuff. When it's actually on the proper page, it does only show us what we want to see. However, that blue does not stand out against the background. So I'm going to edit the global widget, which will change how it looks site-wide, which is fine. We're going to make it the dark blue that we used. There is no way that this song is royalty-free, by the way. Can you hear it? Gaz, Dave, Justin, or Jess, please comment if you can hear Alan Walker fade in the background. And if it's ridiculously quiet against my voice. Or if it's doable. Making bacon. Cheers, Gaz. Right, okay, so here we have Joey. The wonderful single page. That picture is too close to that, though. So I'm going to go on that. I'm going to go on this. And I'm going to go and give the whole thing some padding. 20 pixels. 30 pixels. We're going crazy. That'll do us. So that is Joey's little page. But we want to show more information about Joey. And to do that, we need to put post content. But we don't want to do that. I'm going to make it like this. And inside this, I'm just going to drop in 40 pixel padding at the top and bottom. And then I'm going to do a little menu here that links us to the other animals. Osh. Previous, Georgie. And then it'll say next. Joey, when we go on Georgie. Wonderful. And then we're going to put in a title there. And we're going to make it a level 2 heading. And it's going to be more animals. Wonderful. And then we're going to change the colour of it because I don't like that blue there. And we'll make it that nice, lovely jubbly. You vibing? You having that, lads and ladies? Okay, and now we want to go in and we want to grab the actual post content, which is going to bring back all this mad lorem that we said. And then we're going to update it. Now, I don't think personally that that's very easy to read. So I'm going to go into default fonts and see if we can't change that. It's actually the styles are in about 30 million different places on the Elementor, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. However, it's hard to find things like that. Okay, so paragraph spacing. Let's give a bit more space to our paragraphs. 20 pixels should do us. Typography. We want the text to be... Whoa, it's making all the text bigger. 20 pixels. It's nice and user-friendly, I suppose. It is targeting the younger audience. 16 pixels isn't friendly enough. Perhaps we'll do some tasty code to make that smaller in a minute. It's not that tasty, actually. I don't know why I'm saying it's tasty. And I like increasing the line height, personally. Look at that! 1.8 Ms is a really nice line height, I think. That's nice and user-friendly. Gaz, lunch is over. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Get back to your coding. And Justin, thank you for letting me know you can hear the tunes. And that it's royalty-free, Gareth. Look at this now, all this interaction. I'm so glad you're with me, guys. It's brilliant. Right. Okay. We've got line height sorted. That doesn't look half as bad as it did a minute ago. Not sure on the font myself, but we can sort that out another time. I'm actually okay with that spacing up there. Right, back to where we were. So, let's put a header in here so that it makes it easier for people later on. And we're going to put a title in with some dynamic content. And we're going to put in the title. And then we're going to go in that and we're going to put before in more about Joey. Wonderful. Justin, ahead of you saying why am I not swearing, if Molly's nearby, it's a very good job I'm not swearing. Shout out to Molly and the family down there. Hope you're all having a nice Easter Monday. Okay, so what we're going to do, don't like how close that is to there. The postie seems to have just arrived. Okay, I don't like how close this is. So, I'm going to add some padding to the right. Oh, I already had padding. Okay. I'm going to give the lot 5 pixels of padding. Then I'm going to stick the right's padding at 25 pixels. Nope, 35. 45? There we go, 50. Can we get an advance on 50? Let's go 60 pixels. That looks better. But we don't want it to do that on mobile and tablet. Maybe tablet, okay. That's doable. Doable. Mobile, definitely not. So the right hand side, we want to put some padding on it. But we also want to make this so that it's not hugging the side of the browser so much. So I'm going to go ahead. And there is a setting for this in Elementor, I've seen it. Layout. Column gap. Wider. Oh. It's done nothing. It's done nothing. Well, it has. It's made that spacing a bit better. But okay, we need more of a... I'm not happy with how close everything is to the edge of the browser on mobile. So quickly, Elementor, global site padding. Is there a quick way of doing it in Elementor? I know there is a plugin for it that I've read about before. Okay. We're going to leave that for now. We're going to have to be okay with it touching the edge of the browser because we need to make progress. We've got half an hour left, roughly, ish. We may continue. We may not. Oh, right. Okay, more about Joey. That's definitely too close to the viewport. But because we'd like to make it uniform site-wide, we wouldn't normally do something like that. But fine. We're doing it today. Whatever. Happening. Don't like that either. You can see how it's really close to the edge there on tablet. Not going to be happy with that, mate. So, give it 10 pixels all around. Maybe 15. Not spacey enough. 20. That's tasty. Alright. I can live with that. And then same up top. Don't like how close that section's getting to the edge. So I'm just going to pad the whole thing 20 pixels. Ah, don't do that. We already had some padding on that, didn't we? So bottom was 80 pixels. Don't want it to be all the way around. Was it 40 top? And then right and left will make them 20. Don't think it needs it on left. That looks good. And then desktop. Looks fine. Mobile. It's alright. It'll do. We've got to remember that this isn't going to look like this when it's rendered. I wonder if preview settings have anything to say about this. Nope. Okay. We just got to live with the fact that it does actually look nice and it's done properly. Right. Okay. Now we've got a single page view for the animal. View page. Oh, come on. It's looking good. Where's the rest of our content? Don't tell me we didn't save it. Oh, nipples. Oh, I did save. I didn't swear, Justin. I said nipples. Fine. Everyone's good. Oh, man. Right, okay, so we've got individual animal. Its information. Bit of a spiel about it. That's actually a text editor that they can put pictures and whatnot. I think that'll do us for today on that one. So now all we need to do is make sure that's displaying when we actually look at the animals page. And then when we click on an animal, it just shows Joey. Lovely. And we can see there we can go previous animal to Georgie. Use our grey face Dartmoor. And then when we've got the rest of them, it'll look real. However, I don't like making pages that don't have a distinct call to action at the bottom, which is do something next. Now, seeing as we are in COVID mode, for the time being, I think I'll the thing on the homepage that we had that is you see yonder, it's given us some fun activities. I'm going to use that as a global element. So if I edit this as the in the editor. And I'm just going to grab. Oh, I should have made those globals. If there was a way of grouping these and making, if there is a way of grouping these and making it a global thing, we need to work that out. So, perhaps if we go in a section and drop it at the end, and then we delete one of the columns, and then we put all of these inside here. Come on, drag and droppy. This is the only thing with builders like this. In code, this would have been wonderfully simple. However, it isn't code. So now we've got all of this inside an inner section. We should be able to right click and save that as a template. No, we don't want to save a template, we want to save a globe. Okay, well we can't do that. Can we save this? No. Okay. Right. We'll forget we did any of that. Didn't work. Right. Where were we, kids? Let's have a look. That's still fine. I want to put these at the bottom of the other page, basically. So what I'm going to do is do it the old-fashioned way. Just to get it going for the stream. Open all of these in another tab. And then we're going to go into the animals template. Which is here. Yes. And then we're going to put a nice big tasty call to action at the bottom to get people jamming, if you know what I'm saying. And we're going to go and put a bit of padding on it because everybody knows Danny loves his padding. And we're going to put 40 pixels. You know what? Screw it. We're going to put 40 pixels all around on this one. And in here, we are going to set the style of that box to be something a bit more interesting. Perhaps this lovely yellow colour that we use. Nah, this one's blue. We'll try it as a blue. We can come back to this. And then we're going to put the border radius. We don't want it to be a circle, but we want it to be a substantial border radius so that it looks nice and friendly. Now, is that doing anything? No. Not. Do we need content in it? Picture under the box. Yes, we do. Look at that. He knows what. So, padding. This needs padding. Put 40 in there because we like 40 today. We'll make that white. And we'll go on boredom busters. Animal boredom busters. And then we're going to go here. We're going to go text editor. I'm going to put in stuck in the house during the lockdown. Why not take a look at some of our online family friendly animal themed Applecast themed word searches. Lovely. Style, colour. We need that to be white. That's better. And then we've got all of these buttons that we need to put in. So whilst I'm rather boringly adding buttons to this post, I shall tell you the tale about said pint glass. Before we continue, Jess has a question. So what is Elementor then, Danny? The last page I used for WordPress was Beaver Builder, and that was years ago. Is Elementor the new hot thing? Tell us about it. Jess, a wonderful question. Thank you very much. Elementor is a page builder effectively. It can sit in any theme, so you can activate it, and it just replaces the normal loop. So, like where the normal content would sit, i.e., I can't think of an example. So, say we built this theme from scratch, and we put the WordPress loop here. Anywhere, I can't see the screen. You can't see the screen. Anyway, so say we'd built this as a proper theme, and this was the header and footer that was hard coded in. We could then drop in Elementor to be the page builder just for that individual page and just for that section. However, you can use it to build a template for the header and footer and for the entire site. If you watch next weekend's stream, this weekend's stream actually, when we've got a proper business on there and we're starting from scratch, you'll see that how we build the Hiya, Greg. A good old friend from uni there, Mr. Greg Clayton, a fellow web dev. So yeah, so if you go onto the I'll show you actually, it's probably easier to explain it. So in the editor, you'll notice that we can edit farm header and footer. So if I go to the footer, for example, we can see that we have control over the full theme on this. So now we can drop in whatever we want into this footer. If we want to stick in a little terms and conditions link or whatever, we can do it and it'll appear site-wide. So whilst, yes, it is a page builder, a bit like Beaver Builder used to be, it was actually Andy, my old business partner, who recommended it to me. Because, you know, we've had this ongoing debate as to whether we should be using page builders, and to be honest, now with Elementor, with how good it is, and the code is relatively clean that it spits out, and you can get most of it done for the really low budget projects that you don't have time or the resource to build a full bespoke WordPress theme. Stuff like Elementor is great, and to be honest, and on some high-end projects where you've built a custom theme, there's loads of custom post type stuff hard coded in, but you want to give the customer, like the client, full control over a certain section of the cheers, Greg. Elementor is class. If you want to give the client full control over a section, you can do that, and you can give them like a full editor. You can build templates, you can build a header and footer, you can build the whole theme. It's nice. I like it. It makes more logical sense than a lot of the other editors that I've used. It's definitely oriented towards developers. There are millions of plugins and stuff for it. So yeah, that's Elementor. It's better than Beaver Builder. It's not as heavy as Divi. You can disable all of its internal style sheets, build your own CSS, and just use it for a grid system or for I don't know, anything. So, but yeah, there's loads of settings to it. It behaves like a normal style sheet would, so you can go in and you can switch your fonts and your colours out in the style. I don't know. I like it. Okay, it's perfect for these inbox down projects because these projects are obviously, we've got to get them done inside 2 hours. There's no way you're going to code a bespoke WordPress theme with custom post types using CMB or anything like that. Test it and push it out within 2 hours. It's just not possible. And no matter how much prep we do beforehand. So yeah, you could say, Dave, it is elementary. But yeah, it's great. Andy recommended it. Shout out to Andy from Made by Factory and Ben over there. A brilliant squad if you're looking for pay-per-click. Absolute Google legends. So anybody watching who needs pay-per-click help, ace. Great web developers as well. But yeah, get stuck in. Elementor's brilliant. Thanks for the shout out, Andy, on that one. And yeah, buzz in. And like Ted said, inbox bloody Dan. So yeah, I hope that explains Elementor, Jess. Any more questions, just drop them in the comments. Let's get this build finished and then we can all go and have a beer. Or should we have a beer now? No, let's keep it pro. This t-shirt, by the way, I got it for a laugh. Years ago when Ted first started tagging me and stuff on Facebook saying inbox Dan. Right, so whilst us nip back to the screen cap, we get onto these boredom busters. I'll tell you about this glass. So back in the day, when I first started visiting the old boozer, the Mason's Arms, our old local. I met Ted back then, and basically I've been going in that pub ever since that time, which was probably about 11 years ago or something like that, maybe longer. And yeah, it closed temporarily, as it turns out, because it's been bought now and it's been done up by somebody. I don't want to give away too much information because I don't know what I am and I'm not supposed to know about it. However, it's been bought out, it's been done up. And yeah, before it closed, this glass was actually the last pint I ever had in there as the old crowd. So yeah, I've kept my glass. Sorry, Steve Butcher, if you're watching this. I did tea leaf glass. But you're my pal, it'll be fine. So yeah, that's the glass. That's doesn't really mean anything to me. It's just I thought it was an interesting story that I could tell you why I'm doing this boring stuff. So yeah, these buttons. What would normally happen is Elementor buttons would float underneath each other. So what I've just been and done, gone into positioning, switched them to inline so that they act as inline elements. Which basically I show you what that would have done otherwise. They would look like this if I didn't go in and click on this and set them as inline, which means that they will now float next to each other if I set them all to inline. Positioning, inline. Wonderful. So that's how that's happening. But I want to put, before I start duplicating them all, I'm going to try and get one of them set up, which has got like most of the settings as I want them. So I'm going to go and put 10 pixel right margin on it, so that there's like a bit of a gap between that and the next thing. Mine even just dropping 15 pixels. I could go to the home page and check that out, what I did before, but you know, I'm trying to be quick to the stream. So duplicate the animals one. We've got another one. We've got birds. Let's go click on that link, edit that. We want to go birds. Now we're flying. Duplicate that. Crack on with. Oh, we don't want to go into the host. I want to go on to. What was that? Tools. Edit this. Put the new link in. Tools. And then what we're going to do, duplicate that, and then we're going to go fishing. And then one last one. Is it? Yes. Duplicate that. Garden center. Garden center. Yeah. RE? Yeah. If Carl's watching this, Carl, who owns the printers where I rent my office from, is going to be going bananas at the fact that I've either spelt center right or wrong, because he always hates that. Okay, so boredom busters are in. If we update that now on every animal page, at the bottom, take all that off the address. Animal Ted doing his usual thing and recommending that I have a beer on the stream. So yeah, if I go into the animal page now, at the bottom we've got this boredom busters. We can see it's too close to the hills. So let's fix that. Whoop, we don't want to do that. I'm gonna go and edit this. Advanced, bottom, unlink these. The bottom one wants 80 pixels in my eyes. Excellent. I've just got a message of someone. Okay. Ted, I love you, mate, but you're talking nonsense. So, animals. These are linking to all those things for people to do something next. We don't have much call to action yet. So what's going to happen in future, when they launch the visitor centre, there'll be things to buy tickets, there'll be an online store perhaps, there'll be more going on the blog when they get used to the platform. I have got a request here from the missus, who is the client in this case, to put on these 5 animal freedoms as a worksheet for people to download and complete. Again, just trying to provide content for people who are stuck at home, who are interested in the farm. So yeah, mint. But so far, we don't have a CTA, so we're just going to put the boredom busters on there to try and get people to have a look at these, little quizzes, word sheets, word searches that we've made. The blog, I believe, is still blank, and then the homepage. Here we go. Okay, so looking good. Animals are in. Bit of information about each one. Nice picture. More about Joey. Bosch. Got some content there. Looks great. We can work on that again more in future. So that's that. Now, before we close up, it's nice for the homepage to link to every other part of the website. So let's build a section on the homepage which leads people to go and view the animals. So here we have the homepage. I think we'll leave that section in there. We'll create a new section. I wonder if we could pull the animals through as a ticker. Perhaps. Right, okay, so let's just add this. We'll put padding in again, our usual tasty 40 pixel padding. Top and bottom. Style. Want to get a background on there to set it off. Osh. That's nice. Let's grab in. Might be a bit much that blue next to that red, but hey ho, let's have a look. Meet our animals. Wow. Of course you do. You want to meet the animals, don't you? So, meet our animals. Let's try and, on the fly, some marketing spiel. Cracking the old fingers. Oh, yeah. You're watching me, you're not watching the... God, sorry, guys. So, yeah, we've added this little section. You can't see me. You know you can see me. Okay. We're going to have to, on the fly, just add a little bit of spiel about the old animals here because we don't have the content. So, Applecast care for lots of different breeds and shall I put kinds? No, I don't know. After I'm trying to keep it in younger language without going to like speaking to 4-year-olds. Applecast care for lots of different breeds and okay, we just put types, we can work on this later, of animals. We have a love for rare breeds. I didn't put the rare breeds thing on the output, but we'll get to that. We have a love for rare breeds and are always looking for new members of the team to come and stay here because they do rescue. They do a lot of animal rescue. So yeah, that'll do. So that okay, we can change this later. Again, just a reminder: this content may be inaccurate. It's got to be vetted by the client. Okay, Applecast Farm. We'll just put the animal link in. There probably is a way of grabbing that index from somewhere else, but I don't know it. Click here. Should we have a different button style? Orange isn't one of the brand colours. Why is it there? I don't know. I think we'll stick with the default button just for now. And then we'll call it Meet Our Animals. Lovely. I wonder if we can put in a little, either a slideshow here, which I know we can put a slideshow in. So, what I'm thinking is, can we put in carousel that's pulled from the custom post type? Probably. But have we got time to do it now? No, we'll just put media carousel in. So, let's delete all of these. We don't want all of that. We want a square picture of 2 of our animals, link to the custom URL of animal. Will that do? Possibly. Width and height. Right, let's make it 800. Very high. Well, we don't want to do that. Whatever's happened there, we don't want that. Let's go height. Let's go 400. Additional options. Can we round the corners of these slides? Border radius. 50 pixels. Percent, sorry. Lovely. Little round piggy wig. So, let's add some new slides. Duplicate that. Click on that. And we'll grab this sheepy sheep. We don't want them to display side by side because that looks ridiculous. Style, is it on style? How do we change how that looks? We want a slideshow for one. Now that's looking. Can you see how it's looking like a mad oval? We don't want that. We want one-to-one thumbnails. But we also want one-to-one slides. How do we change the image height on that? We don't know. Okay, let's not try and do rounded corners on this then. It's gonna look madness. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. I think we will have it as a carousel actually. It's a cover flow. No, carousel. We only want to display one slide per view. And then we want to make the navigation controls white so they stand out. Arrows are white. That's white. That's white. We want to make them a little bit bigger. This one. Play icon. Oh, not seen that yet. Right. I think that'll do us. That looks alright. Maybe a little bit smaller. And then I think what we'll do is align this column vertically in the centre. Update that and let's check it out on tablet. Looks good. That doesn't. Let's make the height again. Change the height of this picture because it looks banana. Slides per. That looks good. Okay, and then on mobile. Excellent. That'll do us. Buzzing. Just nice one for watching, pal. I'll see you next time, hopefully. If I've not bored the tears out of you. Okay, so Meet Our Animals Applecast care for a lot of different breeds and types of animals. We have a love for rare breeds and are always looking for new members of the team to come. We click this, it takes us to the animal page. Lovely. Okay, view page. Animals, view our animals, job done. Here we go. Let's have a look at this page on mobile. We can do that just by going, but we don't like doing that. Let's edit with Elementor. Now I think what we'll do, just before we go, on the single view, we'll drop into our save templates. We'll go back to King. Edit that one with Elementor. And then we're going to go and view each of these. I'm going to make that the right size for you. Please, please, please play Boney and Brown Girl in the Ring. Ted, I can't do that. Due to copyright. Okay, so we want to put some padding on this because it's too close there. So if I go to that column, edit this. Advanced. Padding. 20 pixels all round. Good. Let's now check it out on tablet. That doesn't look too good, but it'll have to do. I think this is too big, but right, so we'll see what the missus says when she gets home. And then finally, this is far too close to the edge still. Let's put a 30 pixel padding on, like Jess said. This is definitely too big now, but we'll have to edit that, I believe, in this. No. Okay. Save and close. Looks alright on mobile. Or would you say we should have this still as a 2-column mobile? Might be too much. Okay. View page. Back to the dashboard. Visit site. Right. Let's wrap up for today, guys. We're getting closer to our mark. You have been with me for a very long time, if you've been with me this whole time. If you're watching on the restream, comment replay below. Thank you for watching. Let's just have a quick run through what we've built today. So we started off, we didn't have animals on the site. So we've gone and we've put animals in. We've added 2 of them currently. There are more to add, which are here. I think that's the same pig that we've got. Another sheep. That's Melissa, the Shire horse. These are the alpacas, which are more interesting than the pig that we've been using as an example. They're called Akka, Maka and Paka. And then another sheep of a different... Oh, it's a goat! It looked like a sheep in the preview. Anyway, they're the other animals that we'll be adding. I don't know the names or what they are, so we'll be sorting that out when Shannon gets home. So, yeah. So we've built this page. We've added a custom post type into the admin area, so that when they want to add new animals, they can just go to My Animals and click on Add New. And then they've got a nice name, featured image, bit of a paragraph text about it, the breed, the date it arrived, whether it's a rare breed or not, which we've not used in the front end yet, but we'll sort that out later. And then a little excerpt to give you a bit of a preview as to what the animal is. Once you've filled out one of those, that on the front end will give you a nice, tasty looking thing like this, and then an individual page containing all of the information we inputted, which gives kids, anybody who's interested, some interesting stuff to look at about the animals. So that, ladies and gents, is 2 hours, is the first stream. So thank you for watching. Sorry so that it's been a bit choppy and that we've not really known what we've been doing. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Next up, we've got a live build from scratch next time of a completely new website for one of currently 2 but potentially 3 businesses. The 3 businesses that are in the run-ins this time for the stream are the Snug of Atherton. We've got Rachel there, who's provided us kindly with lots of lovely content to input into that website. We've also got Renovate, which is Brett, a friend of mine also. This is naturally going to be the course of it. I'm going to have lots of friends applying at the start because they're the people that seen these adverts. Yeah, so Brett is he looks after sort of kitchen and bathroom conversions and lots of building work and whatnot. And he's also provided me with lots of lovely content. I've got a third business that I'm still trying to source content from. I haven't yet sent them the content form back, so I'll get on that ASAP. But we'll have at least 2 to vote